Being authentic and being yourself is no longer good advice, and we're going to explore why in this video. I'm not a big creator. I'm certainly a small creator. And so I am living through why this is not good advice anymore. And here's my conclusion. Being yourself and being authentic is a piece of the puzzle, but it's not the entire answer. There are millions of people uploading every day, totally being themselves. Once we learn how to be ourselves on camera and kind of drop our guards, you're forgetting the fact that you need to take that authenticity and translate it. If I'm not able to translate that authenticity into a conversation or a line of thinking or a perspective, then of course it's not going to stand out, and of course people aren't going to follow along, because at the end of the day, it turns into sameness. That generic advice of being yourself, everybody is authentic online already. Be yourself, but also pick a niche and be this one thing and be that, it just wasn't working for me. We're mosaic. We're many things put together into this sort of beautiful creation, this beautiful person. But for some reason, it falls flat when they start uploading online. And I believe it's because they're not able to translate that into an actual line of thinking or articulate that authenticity enough for people to get a sense of what it is. Are you able to bring people on a journey, invite them into an endless conversation, and every post explores that conversation time after time after time? And you can talk about it for years because your perspective on this particular conversation is endless. It is an endless conversation. Are you able to bring people down a line of thinking and stay authentic while you're doing it? Better yet, are you able to translate that authenticity into a question that truly resonates with you? It's taken me over a month of serious thinking and writing and processing to arrive at a point where the question that feels truest to me to explore through these videos is it possible for us to create from your whole self? And this stems from a frustration. I'm tired of fragmenting my personality or trying to be different characters online to succeed. That's unsustainable. Even if you went viral overnight, your page wouldn't have the perspective or foundation to offer anything beyond that virality. You wouldn't be able to convert engagement into anything beyond just engagement. And so I think true success lies with building a foundation that is created from your unique perspective, the authenticity that you were able to take and then turn into a lens that you're looking at all of this content creation through. For me, I've chosen the question, is it possible to create from your whole self? Because I'm tired of trying to be just one thing or fit into a niche that doesn't work for me. Okay, it's never felt good to me to try and boil myself down because popular advice tells me to. I think that me as a person showing up, talking on camera, that's enough consistency. Any other time that I've tried to sustain a YouTube channel or an Instagram page or a TikTok, when I wasn't being true to what I was feeling and what I wanted to talk about and what was actually going on inside of me, I would run out of ideas. You're like constantly searching for the next viral thing to try. And as a result, my presence online, I don't think has ever felt cohesive. It's never felt like it's going in a particular direction. It's always just trying to grab whatever low-hanging fruit that I could, and it never worked anyway, because I think that people can sense that sort of emptiness behind your content when you're not being genuine, especially now because everything is so saturated. So being able to be true to who you are and show up as who you are on camera, and then channel that authenticity into a topic, a conversation that never ends, a perspective, is the ultimate superpower here. And it's so difficult. It's not an easy process, and that's why I think it's so valuable when you actually come to a place where you're able to offer that. Not everyone's going to be able to do that because it takes a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of soul searching, a lot of answers to questions you may have. And a lot of these questions, the answers might not exist online. For me, it was sort of pieces along the way until I realized I've really been struggling with trying to fragment myself into many pieces, many parts to please the algorithm, to, better fit different trends and sort of personas and niches. But I got to a point where I was like, screw that. I'm 30 years old now. I don't want to be wasting my time trying to be something I'm not. I did that a lot in my 20s, and it's exhausting, and as I enter my 30s, I'm building a business. I own a production company. I'm a husband. I'm a father. Like, these are core components to who I am. And I want to build energy up inside of me. I want to be excited about life. And for me, the only way that can even be possible is if I'm aligning the truth of what's going on inside of me, the questions that I'm asking, if I'm aligning that with the content that I'm creating and approaching things from my whole self, then I think that's going to make me a lot happier, and it's going to build a strong foundation of content for people to look through and kind of get a sense of what I'm trying to say. I don't expect you to fully understand the message or the sentiment behind this video by watching it one time, but I hope it plants a seed. I hope you start asking questions as a result of it. And I hope that this channel can provide answers as we continue down this journey together. Your whole self. Is that possible? Maybe it's romanticized, but all of the experiences that you have, the culmination of your lived experiences, everything, like the people you've met, your interests, the things you don't like, the loves in your life, the hatred of you experience, like everything you've ever experienced sort of culminates into one perspective that you carry life with. And that's what you use to carry out your life with. I'm curious to know, can you articulate that? Can you capture that within creating content? Can you excavate that from the depths of who you are and sort of bring it out on camera? That to me is very interesting, because we evolve, because we're ever changing. It's sort of like you can do it on camera as you go. Like the evolution of Nate could be captured possibly, and I hope that it will be. And that's an endless conversation, because we never stop growing, we never stop changing. And what a beautiful thing to share with other people, because you sort of invite them to do the same thing. It's like, yes, you've been told to be authentic and to share your truth, but you start fabricating what that sounds like out of a deeper desire to be noticed. That kills the intention that you started with. It's like, okay, I'll be original, but how do I be original in a way that will get attention? That's not how it works. Being true to yourself is step one. But step two would be, how do I convey that in a way that still honors that truth? How do I honor myself while continuing to make content and not falling into the temptation of selling myself out for a trend? Because it is tempting, like you see people doing trends and then they get a lot of views and a lot of likes and followers and all the things. And obviously that's tempting. We all want success online. Like, we all want to build a community. We all want to grow. That's why I'm doing this at all. But the sustainability aspect of it, the sort of, will people remember you the next day? And the answer is probably no. If you're just recreating what other creators are already doing, if you're mimicking other people, the answer is going to be no, because you're just a statistic. You're like one of many who are doing the same thing. But if you build a world for people to enter, if you build a universe that people can't get enough of, because we love different perspectives as people. Think about it. If you've ever been smitten by another person, like just sort of taken away and extremely interested in another person, it's because they're providing something to you that you've never felt before, that's original, that feels different. That feeling is a result of cultivating a perspective and not abandoning it, and learning how to bring it out more and more and more every single time they create a post. That to me is the true foundation for success online. And by the way, success online could mean whatever you want. I don't mean money necessarily. I don't even mean a huge community. I mean like people who truly fuck with you, and who really get what you're saying and who are on board with you and can help you explore that topic by asking you questions, by bringing their lived experience to the table. That's the dream. Let's not settle for a foundation that's going to crack. Would you move into a house with a bad foundation? No. But the personas that we create online have terrible foundations, and we do it over and over and over and over again, and we never realize that. No, we're never beginning with the end in mind when we do that, because the short-sightedness of just trying to be viral or talk about big trends online is the bad foundation that I'm talking about. Even if you were to achieve it, I think it would still all crumble, because what happens after that? You just have to keep trying to mimic different formulas, hoping that something will latch. And that's the problem. Like, you can do that a million times, but you're gonna be exhausted. And what community are you actually building? Are they following you or the formula? And then when you realize that it's the formula, that, by the way, might not work for you every time. It might have worked once or twice. When they're following that formula, then you're screwed, because at that point, you'd have to start all over again. You may disagree with this. You may think that, Nate, it's not that deep. You know, I can just screw around online and get some views and chase virality, and I'm fine with that. And that's cool, man. Like, you and a million other people, right? For those of us who want something more, something bigger, something that's unmistakably us, I challenge you to think backward from the end. And just because it's difficult, hard to wrap your head around, hard to give shape and form, doesn't mean that we shouldn't pursue it. It doesn't mean that we should abandon it. I don't want to be the same. I don't want to fall into sameness. I want to be me, and I want people to know what that is. At the end of the day, I value myself. I'm confident in who I am. I love who I am, and I want to be able to share that and explore some really powerful shit together online. So, yeah, thanks for being here. I appreciate you, and I'll see you in the next one.